If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is All Things Elite. Welcome back to All Things Elite. Load up the pod, man, it's on when we speak. Rich right here, let me warm it up for Austin and Floyd. Couldn't be no one but the boys. When it come to All Things Elite from the fan perspective, swear, man, it ain't no question. Hear from them first. Swear, man, they putting in the work. No, they had to get me for the verse. Social Suplex Network's on. Hours at a time in your headphones. Austin and Floyd on the microphone. Backing out on the rant, getting in the zone. Pulling up the show, give it 7 stars, you already know. Who else could it be but the show with the proclivity for positivity? I'm gone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 283rd episode of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with a proclivity for positivity. Welcome to All Things Elite. My name is Austin Sumwitz. I am the host of this love. Joining with me is my good buddy and friend, Mr. Floyd Johnson Jr. My man, how are you doing?
I am doing well, but you know who's not doing well? Mystico. He just got attacked on MLW by MJF. MJF has had his masked guys from his double time show up. He didn't show up in
Jumped
the ring.
him.
Jumped him, beat him up real good. He had on Mystico's mask and said he wasn't done with you yet. He was going to embarrass his country. He was going to embarrass CMLL. And then he called him a puta something. It was very...
Puta madre.
Yeah, and it was like he spoke some Spanish, and he's MJF. And he did the thing. He did the damn thing. So that was really awesome. I really thought that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes back. We were talking about this off air, just like how it reminds us of like old school AEW where like guys would just show up at random indies. Like you'd see guys showing up at all different types of shows, like just randomly, and you'd be like, oh shit, like we're just being able to see these guys around. And, you know, having MJF show up and continuing this feud, which it feels like it's building towards we're going to get this match at All In, which is going to be amazing. I love how MJF has just been this. I mean, dude, he got chased back to his fucking hotel room because he was getting so much heat in Mexico. So, like, they're doing some good shit with this, and I'm excited to see if they probably are going to put this on All In, but I want to see it. But, yeah, just having him show up in MLW was fire, honestly, just seeing that happen.
Yeah, and I was, you know, we were talking about this. I was like, AEW sometimes needs to keep that renegade nature, you know, that they have going on where, you know, it's just this energy about it. Like anything can happen. Anybody can show up anywhere. And I love it. And I know MJF came from MLW, so they probably have some kind of working relationship with Cord, or he could call Cord and say, hey, I want to do this. And Cord's like, oh, hell yeah. You know, who would say no to having MJF show up on your show? Anything can happen in MLW. And so, no, I thought that was really cool. And another thing we just added, and this is like we'll talk about the show, of course, but we were like, dude, because I have been talking about this for a while, like just so many people are just in AEW and they're just on the shelf. And it's like, okay, obviously ROH as a developmental brand doesn't seem to have the energy that, you know, they don't seem to be doing it that way, right?
Right.
But you have the Guns that said, hey, we're healthy and we want to work, right? They said it on Twitter. You got Keith Lee says he healthy and he's want to work. And he said that on Twitter, right? You got Top Flight, they were trying to do something with, but you got Private Parties not being used. Britt Baker's not being used. Deanna's on ROH. So you got a company like MLW whose roster is not deep. I just listened to a show with about Voices of Wrestling. Joe Lanz on Voices of Wrestling, and their roster's not deep. Why not send these young people there? And I'm not saying work for free, work up some kind of relationship with them, and, let them be there, win some titles, get some matches, build some buzz, and then use that buzz to bring back AEW. Again, the only reason I ask is because there is, and I understand this might be, Tony Khan's brain is huge, he's a smart guy. So I'm imagining there's some kind of method to this madness. Maybe it's like, okay, we're going to keep these people on the bench and then we'll be using these people. And if they get hurt, we got these people on the bench that we can bring in or whatever. I don't know. Again, it requires a higher level of thinking than I am trying to get on. I don't own a wrestling company. I'm not trying to think that hard. But it just feels like you got all these people not being used that could be used. And it's the weird thing because I was listening to Cody and Kevin Owens on Cody's show, which, again, I very rarely listen to, like, podcasts with, like, actual wrestlers and shit on it. But he was talking about who's the top name in the indies, and he's like, there really is no indie scene because everybody's kind of signed with someone. Yeah. And I was like, I was thinking about that. If there was no AEW or whatever, or, Top Flight, Private Party, these would all be like the huge names on the indies, selling out like smaller venues and all that kind of stuff. But because they're at AEW, they're not being used. I just think there has to be a way, and which I don't know, again, higher level of thinking, there has to be a way to get these guys reps, get them used, get them buzz, so you can then use that buzz to elevate Dynamite and Collision every week. Because, even again, we're looking at this tag division, right? And it's like, Christian and Nick Cage have one match together. And like, we're going after the tag titles. Why? Because there really isn't anyone in front of them. Because
there really isn't, dude.
It's like they can do that because there's nobody in front of them. So it was just, like I said, this was off conversation. But yeah, it was interesting. But what's going on with me before we start the show? We are the champions of the world.
Yes, you are.
We are the champions of the world. And I say we as in the city of Oklahoma City and the Thunder, who won Game 7 against the Indiana Pacers to win the NBA title. I want to first send out my thoughts and prayers to Tyrese Halliburton, who tore his Achilles in the first quarter. Yeah. I will say this. Yes, that changed the trajectory of the game. If any Oklahoma City Thunder person is not honest, that dude was busting our ass before he tore his Achilles.
Yeah. Oh, he was talking before everything happened, like after a timeout.
Yeah, he had called somebody a bitch ass nigga. He's like, he called him because he had just hit the three in the face. And I was like, oh, this dude is hot. And then he tore his Achilles. And it sucks. And that part sucks because I don't want I don't want anyone to get injured. Now, if he had just gotten hurt for the rest of the game, I wouldn't have got mad. But I don't want anybody to get injured. They basically, it's the worst way to lose. They lost the Game 7. They lost the finals. And they lost their star player probably for the next year. So the likelihood of them going to the finals even next year is not good. They're kind of playing for 2027 at this point.
Mm-hmm. We're basically doing what Boston's doing because they lost Jason Tatum.
And that sucks. And I just want I want to say that before I say this. Shout out to all my friends that are Pacers. This includes my boy Tyler and my boy Chris. Like I said, I was rooting for my city. I have really no rooting interest in basketball. Other than LeBron James, I was rooting for my city. I'm sorry that happened to your team. It's absolutely sucks. And hopefully Halliburton can come back in a full 100%, and y'all can get back to being good. But that being said, Tuesday I got to go to a parade, and I got to go to a professional sports championship in parade. And if you're from Detroit and you're from Tampa, you're from Detroit, you're from Tampa, you're from LA, you're from Chicago, you're from any of these cities with multiple major sports teams, you will probably have a hard time wrapping your head around why it means even more to someone that is admittedly not what you would call a fan of the Thunder. I watched the finals games, those 7 finals games. That was more than I watched the Thunder all year. I mean, I am 100% honest. I am going to keep it real. I'm not going to be like, oh, I got a Thunder tattoo or anything like that. I'm a super hardcore. No. Oh, I am, in the terms of it, I am bandwagon. I am fair with weather. I am all those bad words that we use for fans. Because I was never rooting for the Thunder. You know what I mean? I was rooting for my city to have a championship. And I think I've told this story on the show before, but I will tell everybody, I'm a big Madden player. You know that about me. It's probably only one of the games I play every year. I'm a big Madden player. And you're like, what the hell does Madden got to do with this? Well, around 2000, 2001, they started doing franchises, and then they had it where you could relocate the teams. I don't know what year that started. You could relocate the teams, and they had these cities that you could relocate to and all that kind of stuff. You know what city you couldn't relocate your team to? Oklahoma City.
It was Oklahoma City.
Yeah. Like, even in the fantasy world of video games, we couldn't support a team. We just can't. And even in the fantasy world of video games, Oklahoma City wasn't getting a team. And then my second thing with that is 2004, I was in New York, in line, Madison Square Garden, WrestleMania 20. We're talking, and I said I'm from Oklahoma, and we were just chatting like I do with people in lines. And the guys, okay, so we had the Oklahoma City bombing. That was pretty much the only thing everyone knew about us. But these guys asked, do we have malls? That was the first question. It is so ingrained in my brain. I can't remember what I had for dinner last week. But I remember 21 years ago in March, a guy asking, does Oklahoma City have malls? Are y'all going around in horses and buggies? This dude's not asking me this question in 1974. This dude's not asking me this question in 1994. He is asking me this question in 2004. We have had Y2K. I'm literally dressed like them. I probably had on, at that time, I think I was in the lugs area as far as what I was wearing or whatever I was wearing for shoes. And I'm dressed just like them. You know, I'm not wearing a cowboy hat and boots. I'm dressed just like them. But they're asking me, are we going around in horses and buggies? That is how far Oklahoma City was from a normal person's mindset.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then what is it? Because of Hurricane Katrina, which is wild that we have to wrap our head around this. Because of Hurricane Katrina, New Orleans of OKC, and New Orleans came and played in OKC for a season. You know, they sold out a lot of games. They went to a lot of games. And that's when they got the idea that we could support a basketball team. So because of Hurricane Katrina, we even got a shot at a basketball team. And then we got the Supersonics. Stadium lease was coming up. They had a vote, and Clay Bennett bought the Sonics, and they put up a vote. And it was simple. If the city funded a new basketball arena, the team was going to stay in Seattle. Now, did Clay Bennett know that the bill wouldn't pass or whatever? Yes. Did he know the bill wouldn't pass?
Yes.
Did he go out of his way not to, promote it or try to get votes for it? Hey, that's billionaire thinking. I'm going to say yes. So when they didn't pass it to get the new arena, he was able to use that, an expiring lease, to move him to Oklahoma City. And the trajectory of the city, I'm talking people moving here, large corporations being here, all has improved. And this time, the city that was at one point might as well not been on the map because nobody, basically, Boise, Idaho, and Oklahoma City, Oklahoma was the same place to a lot of people.
Genuinely.
They couldn't tell you the difference. And now the best basketball team in the NBA, they're called world champions, even, because I guess they do have a lot of, different talent from around the world. So
listen, Toronto's a different part of the United States. So.
Yeah. I mean, so the best team in the NBA, the best team in the world, is located in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma City.
So we went to a parade. I went outside, so that should tell you how much this meant to me.
In the death heat that you were in, too.
Yeah, yes. Somebody will know this. I went outside, 101 degree heat index, and Florida dudes, California dudes, don't come at me. Don't come at me. Y'all built for this. This Oklahoma boy that spends 90% of his life in front of a computer is not built for it. And everybody, and then everybody asks the most insulting questions ever. Did you drink water? No. I went out into 98 degree weather there. I didn't bring water. I'm a fucking idiot.
In fact, I drank coffee all day.
Yes. No. I was trying to make I had a liter of water, and then I bought like 420 ounces, and I was hydrated. Shit, I had pissed twice that morning. I was hydrated. But I have not built that tolerance to heat because I don't go outside. I'm admittedly hate outside. Like, if you look at my Twitter or my Facebook, you will know I hate the summer and I hate outside. Well, my body wasn't built to it. I did not have a heat stroke. I know I am sensitive to heat, so I am constantly monitoring myself. I felt myself starting to get weak. So I then I was like, I went over, and I got to tell you, this made me laugh. I went over to where the EMT, and I was like, dude, I'm hot and I feel like I'm about to pass out or whatever. So my friends are looking at me and they say I look bad physically. This dude just told me the water station's over there. He basically said, fuck off. So I went over to the concessions, and they had these little things where kids were playing in water. I actually was a grown man that went through the water to try to cool down. I was doing anything to cool down. So then I went over to the concession stand, and I saw two kids up at the front, and I was like, dude.
Y'all gotta fuck off.
Yeah, the line was like super long. I just went to the front. I was like, you can literally have whatever you want. Just get me water, right? So he got me 4 bottles of water, and I was like, yes, I got this. Like, ready to get my 4 ice-cold bottles of water, all lukewarm. I guess everybody had bought all the cold water. So every bottle of the water that I got was lukewarm. So I'm drinking it to try to cool down, but it's lukewarm. It's not cooling me down, So I get back to my seat. My friends, I'm with my friend Sheila, my friend Jason, some other people around me. This guy gave me an umbrella, poured some water on my head. They had ice in the chest, and I put ice on my stomach. And I was only able to cool down so I could actually watch the end of the session. I was going to take 200 pictures. I got like 20 because I was just not feeling well. But and you want to talk about a perfect storm. My wife has this little bag. It's like a bag ice chest. I was going to fill it up with ice and all that stuff and have that ready, right? She had taken it to work.
Oh.
And I had left so early in the morning, Walmart and stuff wasn't open yet. So I really didn't have an option. And I thought, and again, this is our first parade, so I'm going to give them all the benefit of the doubt. This is our first thing like this. There wasn't enough places where you could buy water. They literally should have had vendors walking around with ice chest and water like you would at a event and selling water.
If you imagine how much money they would have made just from doing that.
And how much money they would have made. And how many people, because we had over 100 people have to either get emergency service because of like heat stroke and heat exhaustion. That number goes way down. If you could just get some water, get cool, maybe have a few cooling areas where you can cool off. I mean, again, hindsight's fucking 2020. I can come back and say, oh, you should have did this, you should have did that. But again, it was our first parade, so I completely understand. Might be our last parade. Fuck if I know. Team is young. But I had a fucking great time. I was there with my best friends. I had family that had tickets. They were in the arena. And it just, this moment of going around, thanking the city, all that stuff. And I saw memes that there wasn't people. There was 500,000 people there. I mean, I don't know.
Listen, social media's not a real place, guys.
I was like, I don't know. I couldn't move. There were so many people.
Yes, social media's not a real place.
Yeah, so yeah, the whole city downtown was packed. There were people that, because they had shuttles bringing people down. There were people that just stayed downtown because it was easier to stay downtown than to wait 3 hours in the heat for a shuttle. You could literally just go into a building that's air conditioned instead of waiting 3 hours for the shuttle. So anybody that tells you that there was nobody there, they're full of shit. It was great. I was in Kansas City for the Super Bowl celebration. I would, there was 1 million people in Kansas City. So I'll tell you, there was less people in Oklahoma City, but we are a smaller city.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it's going to work.
We are the 26th out of 28 markets. There are 28 NBA markets. The only reason there's 28 markets and there's 30 teams because there's 2 Los Angeles teams, 2 New York teams, right? Brooklyn, New York, all considered the same market. So there's 28 markets. We 26th out of 28. There's not a lot of people here. And it was on a fucking Tuesday. So people have to work. So whatever. I still thought it was an amazing turnout. Got to rep the city. If you even care, our mayor gave a speech and he was talking about how this kind of puts Oklahoma City on the map. And he said everything that I've said today and more. And yeah, I've never been prouder to be from here. And yes, I do know we're a red state. I do know that. I do know all the bad things about Oklahoma. Believe me. Mm-hmm. I know them.
Yes. Oh, trust me. He's heard them all the time.
I heard them. I don't think like that, but I do have friends, family, and people I love that do think like that. I cannot doubt that.
But for a guy who's been doing franchise modes and could never do OKC for the longest time, finally get a team, and now they're champions. I'm happy. I'm happy for you, man. You all of your teams that you be supporting for the most part. We'll ignore Florida State right now, but the teams you support right now, like they're eating this decade. Like these last few years, they've been eating.
Yeah, and I'm very fortunate that way because I know some people live their whole life without ever seeing them win the title. Like, and I'm not like, and everybody's like dynasty, and that'd be great if it happens. It'll be great if Oklahoma City does turn this into a dynasty. But you know what? One is enough. And this is not a shot at anybody, but the Knicks haven't won a title.
Say it again. Huh? Say it again. Say it again.
Knicks haven't won a title in...
One more time.
The Knicks haven't won a title in God knows how long. And they're one of the most storied franchises in this game. And it's like, and they can't win the NBA Finals. So they can't. No, they can't. Yeah,
they can't.
To be a team that's only been around for 16 years, and to have played in the finals twice and to won one, dude.
I'm just saying, y'all. People give us shit for drafting Darko. I mean, like Carmelo probably could have won a championship with us. He didn't win one with New York.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Dude, they've done.
Could have won a title maybe with Darko because he's got a ring and he don't.
Yeah, and it's just like so. Again, I don't take it for granted. I've never taken any of the Chiefs titles for granted. I will never take. I grew up and I was alive for all 3 of Florida State's national championships. I don't take any of this for granted because it is hard to win championships.
It is.
Yeah, so I know that this was a long opening, and we're going to talk about wrestling now.
You had a lot going on, man. But we got a lot to get into, obviously, with this week of AEW because, I mean, we're heading into episode 300 of Dynamite. We're, like, only a couple weeks away now from All In, dude. Like, everything's kicking into gear. Like, we're kicking into gear right now for everything. So,
dude, tonight was the last AEW show. I am not going to be live for until July 16th.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to think about.
It's nuts.
I was like, it's the last one I'm not going to be live for until July 16th. And dude, I know seeing y'all, seeing y'all, seeing Social Suplex team, seeing everybody in Texas in a few weeks. I'm fucking excited to see everyone.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be hype. It's going to be hype. But we got a lot to get into on this episode of All Things Elite. Before we get into the show, though, guys, we really would appreciate if you continue to support us by sharing us around with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. Download the show on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to us. Give us a download and turn automatic downloads on so you don't miss an episode. Rate, review, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at ATElitePod. You can also follow our Social Suplex friends at Social Suplex and give all their other shows they have a listen. A bunch of great podcasts on that network. You should give them a listen. I am at Austin Sumowitz, SZUMOWICZ, and Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Go to Chop Tees, get yourself a t-shirt, and also sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. Links are in the description of the show. Now, news of the week going into this week, obviously we did just touch on MJF showing up at MLW to jump Mystico, which I think is absolutely huge. But also we got confirmation of, because they announced beforehand that the Casino Gauntlet match was going to be at All In, but then they confirmed it's because they were asking, like, is it going to be men's? Is it going to be women's? AEW was like, yes.
Yes.
A men's and a women's gauntlet match for All In. And the last couple weeks, well, the next couple weeks have basically just been deciding who's going to be opening that match and, like, who will be competing in those gauntlet matches as well. So
everybody listening to this show is pretty, if you're listening to the show, you're a pretty hardcore AEW fan. So, but I am going to reiterate, like, why this is important. They've said it an announcer said it, but I'm still going to say it just in case someone's listening to the show for the first time or whatever. The way the Casino Gauntlet works is a new person comes in every couple minutes, right? But the match can end at any time. So unlike the Royal Rumble or anything where getting in last is the most important, because the match can end at any time, getting in first or having a high number is important. And I just want to reiterate, it's the opposite of how regular Gauntlet and Royal Rumble works. That's why it's uniquely AEW. So let's just say, just going to throw names out there. Let's say Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita started off and they had an agreement. Hey, I'm going to lay down. And Kyle Fletcher gets in there and just lays down. Takeshita gets the 1, 2, 3. The match is over. 3, 4, and however many numbers are out there, they don't get a chance to win it. So it's being 1, being 2, being 3, having those guaranteed spots, having 1 and 2 are super important in this match.
Yeah, it's a gauntlet match. It's not a
but it's
a battle
almost,
royal or anything. Yeah,
it's a reverse gauntlet match, because you think in a normal gauntlet match, you want to be like, they'll have a team in the ring, and you really do want to be like the last team because you'll be the freshest team. But in this one, because the match ends after 1 pinfall or submission, it's opposite. They're like, it is uniquely AEW. I imagine there's some hardcore wrestling fans out there probably can say, you know what, some other place did it like this before. And if you know that, I salute you. But me, this is the only one I know like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting concept. Like I said, it's going to be fun to see how it shakes out and everything like that. So. But yeah, I'm hyped with the guys that are going to be in that match though, because I know the guys and girls that are in that match are going to do some really cool stuff. So I'm excited for both gauntlet matches. But we'll move right into AEW Dynamite, which took place from Seattle, Washington. Show opened up. Timeless Toni Storm shows up with Luther to the arena, walking out. We were supposed to hear from her. She gets jumped by Mercedes Moné. Basically being like, welcome to Dynamite, and then just beat the shit out of her. Side note, her Carmen Sandiego look has been amazing. I love the outfit. It looks so cool, and people are already cosplaying it at the shows too, man. I mean, it's really cool to see.
Lady in red.
Yeah, literally, yes. Lady in red. So it was after Mercedes got jumped by Toni Storm. Now Mercedes gets her revenge after Tony said basically, you're going to have to kill me to take the world title from me. She's like, oh, okay. Is this what you wanted? They brawl all the way out into the arena and basically just went, let the games begin. Mina Shirakawa did come and intervene to save Tony Storm. But yeah, Mercedes now basically being like, all right, the stage is set basically. Now you want to play it like this, we'll play it like this.
Yeah, to borrow 2 words from old Joe Lanza, wrestling is so much better when you have hate and heat. And this segment was hate and it was heat. And I know some people some people out there didn't like the whole, her eating the steaks on the sideline, but that was the start to mind games, and this is it escalating. Everybody, they're getting tired of each other's shit. And with 2 weeks, roughly, to the show, this is when you want it to start getting as hot as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you want this level of just absolute, just fiery hatred between these two when we're 17 days away basically until the show. So you want this. So, and that's the type of stuff we like to see. And like I said, the whole idea of this is just they've been fucking with each other leading into this match. Now Mercedes just like, all right, games now are going to get physical and I'm going to beat your ass. So we move off from that, which, like I said, I enjoyed the opening segment. It was a nice jump start to the show just to get people hyped. And then we hit a down period. Young Bucks come on screen, basically being like, it's your founding fathers, and basically said, you know what? We need to flex our influence a little bit, and we are going to bump up this tag match between Ospreay and Swerve, basically being like, it's not later tonight, it's right now. So get out to the ring, play Ospreay's music, let's go. So Ospreay comes out. I will say, I thought it was cool that he was running out, basically not on time to his song, still tying up his boots, still getting his taping up his wrists and stuff like that. Swerve was just kind of throwing on his t-shirt as well too. So I thought that was solid. That being said, Ospreay and Swerve are going up against Lee Johnson and Blake Christian, which, no disrespect, I mean, like, oh man, what were they gonna do? You bumped it up early. Oh, they're not prepared for Blake Christian and Lee Johnson.
Yeah, tag team that collectively hasn't won a match on TV this year at least.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't book them against some big dudes that could like throw them 40 feet across the ring. No, you just have them in a match there. Like, they're in a match now against these guys, and you're like,
I'm pretty sure
maybe if we start the show off with it, maybe they'll be thrown off their game.
I'm pretty sure, based on booking, either Will Ospreay or Swerve could have won this match by themselves.
Yes, with their hands tied. So once again, it continues to showcase that, like, they're showcasing their power in the most superfluous ways possible, showing that you really don't have power. Like, it's the thing that's bothered me with their characters is, like, I don't believe a fucking thing with them, like, with their power, because they don't actively use it in ways that are damning and, like, legitimately heelish. Like, oh no, what are they gonna do? You bumped up their match against jobbers. What are they gonna do? No disrespect against Lee Johnson and Blake Christians, but, like, they didn't get an entrance. So what are you if you don't get an entrance?
Yeah, you're gonna lose.
Yes. So regardless, after the match is over, when Swerve and Ospreay, which I did like a little bit of their in the match itself, though, their tag team offense was pretty fun to watch. It was nice seeing them work off each other. But after they get the win, Young Bucks are watching the match basically up on the ramp, and then they come out, and Swerve just gets on mic and screams at them, basically like, I'm not going to go another year with dealing with you two. Ospreay then basically said, you know what, let's up the ante because we got each other at All in Texas. Put the EVP titles on the line, which I will say in my head, I was just like, oh my God, do we have another fucking championship belt?
You know
the
it.
EVP titles. That's like, nope.
Hey, let me tell you, I'm giving him a lot of credit tonight, but I listened to him. He calls people that have like a lot of belts to show up to show. He calls them belt mutants. The OG belt mutant is Tony fucking Khan. That dude look any reason to make a belt. any reason to make a belt. I'm pretty sure. I'm like, dude, he's like, oh, so there's a reason to get a belt? And he's like, yeah, baby. Yeah.
Let's make a new belt. Hey, we got our belt designers, right? Let's make one right now.
He treats real life like it's WWE 2K.
For real. Like, let's keep the creative belt. Create a title every single time we get the chance.
Yes, and I fucking love him for it. I want to make that clear. I'm making fun of him, but it's in the best way, because a lot of times it feels like TK is just like one of us that happens to have $1 billion.
Yes.
Yeah, so, we love this is what we would do. We would make belts. We would throw on dream matchups for no fucking reason. And, this is the life I'm living for.
Yeah, but now, so I want to get your thoughts on this, though, because I was talking with some people and had differing thoughts about this. The idea of the Bucks putting their EVP careers basically on the line, basically making it so, like, if they lose, they're just wrestlers, they're not corporate anymore, they have no physical power in terms of just doing anything they want regarding AEW. Your thoughts of them putting their EVP roles on the line against Ospreay and Swerve for All In.
Okay, so I am one of the weird people that actually like power struggle type things like this, and I think it could have went further, but it didn't. Honestly, with Tony Khan really saying I run everything, whether in the show or whatever, Tony does this, Tony does that, it honestly feels like a title on paper only a lot of times.
Yes.
So it's a nice little stipulation for wrestling, especially for the non-super nerdy wrestling fans, just the people that, tune in every week and just watch the show. I think it's a great stipulation for them. It might draw like 5 or 6 extra people, into the show. But yeah, it really doesn't mean a lot. And if it's a way to get rid of it, okay.
That's the thing. It's like I heard people basically saying like Ospreay and Swerve will win it just so they can take the EVP roles and just kill it.
Yeah, burn it. I'm fine with that. Yeah, I mean, that works, and then we don't ever have to bring this up again. Again, it's weird because it's hard to do stories sometimes because we are AEW is so open about kind of how their business is run. So, like, these type of stories, they don't resonate like they should with the hardcore fans. But I imagine with the weekly watchers, and I'm not even call them, I won't even go as far as to call them casuals. It's the people that watch every AEW every week, watch the show, and then go about their lives. They don't get online and talk about it. They don't listen to podcasts. They just watch the show and then go along life. It's their Love Island or whatever show that you're in, and they just watch it every week, just like it is. For those people, I think the stipulation will work. For the hardcore people that are listening to the show or the super nerds like us, it's not going to mean a lot.
Mm-hmm. And I took it as a different route because obviously I feel like a lot of people feel like with the Young Bucks, it's only a matter of time before they inevitably reunite with Kenny and just turn face again. Uh-huh. And I think a lot of people think that them giving up the EVP roles will give them the ability to go out and just be baby faces again. Uh-huh. And in theory, I kind of get that. Even though technically, if we're being super granular about the shit, Kenny's still an EVP. He just never uses shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's a thing that's the sickos know that he's still technically an EVP. Now, I took this as a different way because when they first announced like let's put our EVP roles on the line, basically, I was like, oh, so they're not losing, because I thought basically because. Now, last week on Collision, obviously, we're talking this week because we were recording this after Thursday just wrapped up and Collision just went off the air. Last week, Kota Ibushi came back, and he's back in AEW, and he is doing stuff, and it's awesome to see him back. And, you just know at some point we're going to get the Golden Lovers versus Young Bucks. I just feel like that has to happen. So if the Young Bucks are not EVPs, as heel characters, what are they? You know what I mean? Like, the EVP characters is what makes them heel. Because otherwise, they still do everything that they do as just the Young Bucks, the great wrestlers that they are. the wrestlers that, like, if it's not for the characters, they get cheered all the time because of the way that they wrestle. The EVP stuff is the only thing that basically makes them hateable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if they were to lose the EVP roles now, then, like, well, you can't do that match. You know what I mean? Like, that match goes out the window. And I just feel like my instantaneous reaction was like, oh, so they're not going to lose this match, are they? And then I was just like, oh, so we're going to have the Young Bucks on the biggest show of the year beat two of the hottest baby faces in the company. I'm just like, ooh, don't let me. I'm like, I went so granularly, like, the worst case scenario for me. And I was like, I was seething just thinking about it. I was like, ooh, if Ospreay and Swerve lose the Young Bucks at All In, I'm going to be pissed.
See, and that's the whole thing. That's wrestling right there.
Yeah,
that's wrestling. It works either way. So you're going to be actually surprised when it happens, and you actually are going to have an emotional reaction depending on whether it wins. Because if Swerve and Ospreay win, you're going to be like, oh my God, Swerve and Ospreay won. If they lose, you're going to be like, you little sons of bitches. And it's just like it works both ways, and that's when wrestling is the best.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's interesting because, like I said, I'm very much caught in the middle of that whole ideal too, because I feel like if you have the Young Bucks lose though, and they lose their EVP roles, I feel like they just disappear off of TV until they eventually come back as baby faces.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, like, didn't they just take a fucking break?
Oh, I don't think they can. I mean, I think they take their November and December off, so I think they're gonna.
Well, I've known that, yeah.
Yeah, so. No, I'm saying I think they need to stay in here until that period of time. Because
I was just like, we can't lose. Like, that's the thing though. So it's like, I don't know. If we were doing our predictions right now, I would say the Bucks would win, which would just make me so fucking mad.
Oh well, sir, we're not gonna do them now. But
I know.
Yeah.
If it was today, but it's not, and we've still got a couple shows before that happens. But yeah, just to give you an idea of where my head's at with it.
Yeah,
so
Hangman and Ospreay, baby. Not Hangman Ospreay. Swerve and Ospreay. So yeah, I mean, I've thought of a lot of ways. I mean, again, the Young Bucks. You know who they are. Everyone knows who they are. They are. If they are one of the greatest tag teams of all time, if not clearly the greatest tag team of all time. It depends on what part you're arguing with. So that's where I came from, is like, bam, the fourth match on the show. Well, I guess technically the sixth match because they announced the gauntlets first. You got the top three matches, bang. You got the two gauntlet matches, bang. Now you got this match. Now, I've heard people like, oh, I want some more stakes. And I'm like, dude, if you think about a pay-per-view or how pay-per-views work, this show has all the story it needs. Everything else is like, anything else is great, but we didn't got some more matches announced. I'm pumped. I think this is going to be an all-time show. As long as Tony Khan makes sure the roof is closed. Now, again, got some inside information from a person you know very well. It looks like the roof's going to be closed. But until Tony Khan confirms it, you should still prepare. If
Tony,
you're going,
you're gonna get on the investor call. I mean, or the media call just to ask. Closed roof?
Yes,
closed roof.
That's all I want. Is that's all I want. I just need that confirmation. Again, we got the information that the roof's going to be closed, and I've heard my friend Jackie Guerrero, who actually lives in the area, says it's closed most of the time. It's Texas. It's hot. It's closed most of the time. They only open it for select games. So I'm probably worrying about absolutely nothing.
Right.
But as a person that just experienced heat exhaustion 2 days ago,
he doesn't want to have heat exhaustion on the biggest show of AEW's calendar year.
Yes. This is a bucket list thing for me. Stadium show in my area, first row, kind of thing. I'm like, I want to enjoy the show in the 72-degree weather, if possible.
So there you go. After that little moment too, we had a backstage segment where we had the Bucks with the family, basically the Don Callis family, because they had a response basically being like, You fools, you're suspended for the week without pay. Get his ass out of here after you already had your match and you're done for the show anyway. You're suspended for a week. We're so good at our jobs. We know how to use our power. We're so... How do you suspend somebody for the week without pay after they just got paid for working? You dumb motherfuckers. How do you do that? That doesn't make any sense. How does that make sense?
The only thing that annoyed me, I was like, so does that mean Swerve's not going to be on Dynamite 300? Like in my brain, because it was like, I bought my tickets a while ago. I was like, dude, I was going to go swerved out to this show. I was going to wear the Swerve shoes.
Wear the shoes, yeah,
be swerved out. I'm like, he ain't going to be on the show. It's going to be back to FTR.
But, so Don Callis' family, basically, mainly Okada and Rocky Romero, come in, and they're basically being like, who would have thought from the days of chaos, feuding with you guys in Bullet Club, now we're all on the same side. And then basically Matt basically sparked about how, you know what, we have obviously the idea that we want to get Okada strapped up at All In to become the first ever unified AEW champion. Trent comes out basically being like, I want you guys to watch what I'm about to do to Ibushi. I think you're going to love it. And then blast as they disperse and everyone parts off, you get the shit that everybody actually cares about, is Takeshita and Okada facing off. And Okada has been told basically by Takeshita, remember, this is temporary. And Okada's just like, okay. It's like, I don't give a fuck. Oh, dude, the teasing. Like that everyone was just kind of like, just as everyone was on screen. But then Okada and Takeshita like face off and they're like, oh!
Yeah.
That's what
as of right now, that's my dream match. That's my number one dream match. That is like, you don't understand how upset with Tony Khan I would be if they just announce it on a random Dynamite, like 3 days before the show. That's a match. Like, I am basically going on somewhat of a travel hiatus for the rest of this year as I get ready to go to Japan next year. That's a match. That's a drop everything, go into debt, do what I have to match to me. To me. Yes. That means, like, because Takeshita is pretty much my favorite wrestler. I'm like, right now, he's my favorite singles wrestler in the world. So the idea of Okada versus Takeshita, I mean, Takeshita looks like he was built in the mode of Okada, but he's a little more, like bulkier than him. So this match that match would be amazing. Forbidden Door, whatever they do it, I'm going to try to make it to it. Unless they do it in London, and I ain't going. But no, that's how much that match. So that moment, that stare down, I'm like in my chair here, and I stand up because I've wanted that tease. That is the tease I want. So yes, let's fucking go.
Yeah, there we go. We then have Trent Beretta going up against Kota Ibushi. Oh, I miss this, man. Oh, man. It's just like having him be in AEW is just so nice. Now, he's obviously had to go through a lot, I feel like, just to be able to get back and everything. But, just having him back in AEW, I feel like is just something we've been begging for just in general. And you know what? Him and Trent worked their asses off, I felt like. They had a really, really good time in this match. I loved how they had a video package specifically to showcase the Golden Lovers and how teamed up they are and everything like that. And it was physical, yeah. And I mean, Trent was getting kicked like a motherfucker, and showing honestly, basically, Kota's good to go. He's working really well, and just we're very much intrigued about when and if he's going to get back with Kenny and what they're going to do. And then you had a face-off between Okada and Kota, and I was just like, oh my god, like, holy shit,
dude. And I because last week Ibushi shows up, and I said Okada Ibushi at 300. Like when he showed up, on Collision, I was like, Okada Ibushi at 300. And someone's like, I don't think they're going to give it to us then.
I thought that they were going to put it on fucking Forbidden Door.
Dude, and I got to say this. I have given Tony Khan on this show plenty of shit for not making the big shows seem like the big shows, like the 200s, the 250s, and all that stuff. This 300 feels like the 300. Dude. It feels like a 300. It's not like quality. It's not a pay-per-view, but it's like a Dynamite 1.5. You know what I mean?
Pretty much, yeah.
You got a lot of big matches. They added one before we got on the show during Collision. You have a ton of big matches, a ton of your stars on the show. Because I only can imagine with Ibushi and Okada wrestling, there's another guy whose initials are KO that might show up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, they really put together an amazing 300 episode. And when I give my boy TK shit, I also want to give him props when he steps the fuck up. Honestly, they've been stepping the fuck up since
they have
the second week of January. I mean, after that, I guess it'd be the third week of January. Can't say I've disliked an episode of Dynamite or Collision since then. So this year at this point, you have to say the year has been amazing. Because right now, if you're looking at the year, it's two not of the greatest episodes of Dynamite at the beginning of the year, and then it's been nothing but good since then. So
yeah, no, they have been cooking, honestly, with what they've been putting together for leading into All In. Like this has been some really good string of content that they've been doing.
It's so good that when I see online and someone will be like, "Well, the show's not good," I can just ignore it because I just know they're full of shit. Like
right, you just
I'm like, I don't even know what's going on here because it's like they've been nothing but good. So yeah.
We then moved in a backstage promo with Jon Moxley, which is honestly a damn good one too. Basically being like, Hangman, it's like I don't care who you're friends with, who you're not friends with, and all that kind of shit. Basically, I just know that when you get into the ring, you're gonna get choked into oblivion. Is all he cared about. He's like, you've lost hold of what's come before 1,000 times over. Here it is in his hand again, though. Is he gonna take hold of it actually this time? I don't think so, because he's afraid of being the guy that the world needs him to be. Basically, he's like, for a guy like me who's walked the path I've walked to, standing here today, the world champion, Hangman makes me sick. Basically, being like, I've done everything I've done to become the world champion, and you're still scared of being this guy, being the guy that you said you were going to be from the moment the company got built. And, he's like, you're not going to be worrying about who's your friend, who's not your friend. You're going to be getting elbowed in the face. You're going to get dumped on the top of your skull. And I show the world on July 12th what a world champion looks like. And you're just going to have to start looking for another job.
Wow. And yeah. I thought
this was classic Jon Moxley badass promos.
Dude. So people are like, and I know I am in the extreme minority of this. At my life right now, the Death Riders thing has just gotten good. It went from terrible to I can live with it to okay, and now it's good. I don't want it to end yet. I don't want it to end on July 12th. And again,
you are definitely in the minority.
No, not in the minority. I am in the extreme minority. When I say 99% of people want Hangman to win this match.
Yep.
I'm going to say, I might even go like 99.5. But God, it's like the Death Riders, it's like they found their groove. They're putting on entertaining TV. I don't want it to end yet. I don't. I want the heat. I want the heat. I don't want the actual heat. Tony Khan, keep the roof shut. But I want the heat of this match. I want the heat of everybody being pissed off that Hangman loses. And I want to laugh. And I want to enjoy it. And I want to use it to, put more asses in seats and build to someone else. But, again, I've heard all the negatives of it. And I am not saying any of you are wrong. I'm not. You're all very smart people. But as a person that was at WrestleMania 39, I was there. And I thought that was the worst decision they ever made. Who's the hottest company in the world right now? I'm just saying. Sometimes going against the obvious is the best thing. But I'm not saying, I am not fully on like, well, Hangman's got to lose or got to win. I'm just saying, I'm on the side of, I kind of want to see the world burn to a point. You know, I don't want to see the world burn, but I'm just saying, if Hangman loses, I wouldn't be like crushed. Actually wouldn't be upset at all. I'd be like,
that makes one of us. That makes one of us.
Dude, it's just getting good. Why are you going to stop it when it just got good? Like
that's why it's like so people you stop it when it's good so that way people actually remember it as being decent instead of like running it dry. We do not need the Death Riders to become the Bloodline.
We have lived with it. We lived with it so many months of it being terrible. Now it's great. So can I get a few months of it being great? Because guess what? The Bloodline was 4 years. We're not even in a year of the Death Rider. We're not even in a year. So everybody's like Bloodline. I'm like, Bloodline was 4 fucking years. we're in what, 10 months? You'll be fine.
You can keep the Death Riders, just get the title off of it.
Dude, they're not the Death Riders if they don't have the title. They're just not. It's over once they don't have the title. The whole thing was built around them having the title. Once they don't have the title, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know.
I can still be the Death Riders if Danielson wants to come back and do one more thing. I just don't think that's going to happen. Even though, I mean, he was showing up and he did take a back bump.
You know how I feel. You only can give the rub to one person. That's you know, you only can give it to one person. Only one person gets the big win over Moxley. If it's Hangman, it's Hangman. I'll say congratulations, and I'll watch everybody celebrate, and I will have no problem with it. I'm not going to be butthurt if Hangman wins or whatever. Can I even say that anymore? My feelings won't be hurt. Let me change that. My feelings won't be hurt if the Hangman wins the match. I honestly will be like, woo, and I'll probably be celebrating. You'll see me with my hands up in the air going crazy on TV. But if he loses, you might see a person up there smiling a little bit. Because again, the Hangman's not my guy. He's not. It's like, you know, when you have your guys, Hangman's not. If you give me Will, Swerve, or Hangman, Hangman's 3 in that for me. And if you add in 2 more people, Hangman will move down to 5. So Hangman's not my guy. So if you don't hear me like going for Hangman, it's because I'm not a Hangman guy like that. I saw him finish his story. I was there at Full Gear when he beat Kenny Omega. I've seen this already. This is trying to put the genie back in the bottle, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, we'll move right now. Backstage segment with AR Fox. He was being interviewed basically about how he's getting a ton of momentum, even though he just recently lost to Moxley. And he gets interrupted by Ricochet, who is like, I realize you've got a unique set of skills. I'm still chasing after gold. How about we team up and we face off against Jet Speed, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight? We take them out tonight. And, you know, AR's kind of like, and he's like, yeah, you're fine. Come on, let's go. And basically, like, lures him into the match. And we get a tag team match between Jet Speed versus Ricochet and AR Fox. Side note, Jet Speed is such a good fucking tag name. It is such a good tag name.
It is an amazing tag name.
Yeah, that is such a good tag name. Like, that immediately, like, even though we've seen these guys team in like multi-man matches and stuff like that. I don't know how many times we've seen them legitimately as a tag team in AEW, but already, because they have such a badass name, they're instantly slotted in as one of my top tag teams in AEW right now.
I love the name.
Still not gonna get it there with. I'm
just gonna tell you, I'm not driving home that fact anymore. I've made my point.
Yes, you have.
Everyone that listens to the show knows how I feel. At this point, if I keep talking about it, it's like I'm trying to bury him, which I'm not, because I have no actual problem with the person.
So. Okay. So moving on, though, with the match itself, though, I mean, it's really good. Dude, the fucking move, I don't even know what you would call it, but what AR Fox did when he, like, jumps over the top rope and catches himself as he, like, stomps on one guy on the apron and then dives off of the apron onto the floor, onto another guy. I don't know what the fuck that was, but it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, he literally, like, catches himself in a front flip over the top and middle rope and is in between them and then stomps on a dude. I was like, it was so cool. Like, that was the one spot in the match I remembered significantly. And, dude, he is cooking right now. Like, people are getting into him. They are recognizing the work that he's doing. People are, like, buying into him, and it's having him paired up with Ricochet, one of the most bastard heels that AEW's got right now, and having him leave AR high and dry just makes people care for the guy even more.
There are 3 people on AEW's roster that it's like, you know, you got your MVPs like Ospreay, Swerve, all those people, but they are the match MVPs. We need a good match MVP. Beast Mortos, AR Fox, and Mark Briscoe. They are so good, it doesn't matter if they win or lose. They put on such good, entertaining matches. It's like, and it's almost to a detriment because you don't need to push them because people love them whether they win or lose. Beast Mortos like Beast. Everybody, he's quote unquote heel, and everybody loves Beast Mortos. Yes, in this case, AR Fox doesn't matter. The dude's fucking phenomenal. He is AEW. Like, AEW was built for people like AR Fox. Right? It's like, I don't remember AR Fox, you know, I hear about Lucha Underground, but I don't hear about him being on TV at a lot of other places. He was built to be in AEW. That dude puts on banger match after banger match after banger match every week. He makes his opponent look amazing because they beat him, but he also keeps looking good to the point it doesn't hurt that he kind of just loses all the time. So God, shout out to AR Fox. Like the fact that everybody online and everything seems to get behind him, I fucking love that for him.
Yeah.
Because it's just, again, AEW is best. We're the best wrestler. He is one of the best wrestlers. I'm like, would I like them to do more with him? Of course. But guess what? In this world, like, you only can push so many people at a time. Everybody can't win. So the fact that he steps up and every match shows up, every match he goes 110%. I know that's not a real number, but every match he gives it his all. Every match he's entertaining, whether he wins or lose. Man, shout out to AR Fox. I just
shout out.
A dude should be booked as much as his body can take because I have never seen him not put on an entertaining match.
No, I know. And I mean, like, dude, he's getting to that point, man, where I feel like give it a few months, he's gonna be doing some big things, I feel like.
Dude, he feels like, I asked you a question to think about before the show, and we'll discuss it when that guy comes on, but yeah, he feels like in that area too where the fans might force him to get more pushed.
Just a little bit. I feel like it could be getting to that point.
Yeah.
After the match, though, when obviously Ricochet leaves AR high and dry, he can't win 2-on-1, so Jet Speed gets the win. And they decide basically, you know what? AEW tag titles have been held hostage for way too long. It's time for somebody to come to their rescue. Kevin Knight gets on mic basically being like, those titles have been held hostage worse than OKC's been holding the Supersonics hostage all those years.
Okay, yeah, so I am petty.
Right after they win the title, you're going to say that. Afterwards, dog?
I am petty. Macklemore said, fuck Oklahoma City in like 10 years ago, and I've been like, fuck Macklemore ever since. And I know we won the titles, so I was like, I forgive KD, I forgive Macklemore, hell, I forgive James Harden, I forgive everybody. We won the title, and now I got a new enemy, number one, Kevin Knight. And I was like, fuck Kevin Knight. And then Rich, my boy Rich, was like, he's from the area. I was like, cool, but that shot was unnecessary. I'm like, is Baltimore still crying about the Colts? Move the fuck on.
I mean, Buffalo's still crying about the Chiefs.
Well, getting their ass whooped by them. Well, I'm like, y'all have the Seahawks. Y'all have, what's the hockey team? The Kraken. Y'all have the fucking Mariners. Y'all got more.
I think they just got I think they got a PWHL team, so they got a women's hockey team now.
And then they got the women's basketball team. The fuck are y'all? Move the fuck on. Y'all got more pro teams than you can count. You probably forget some of the pro teams in your city. We got one. And we only got it because you wouldn't build an arena and we would. So suck it. All of Seattle. All of Seattle. If your name is not Swerve and you're from Washington, fuck you. Okay?
Damn. Damn. He taking it there, folks. He taking it there.
No, they took it there. I was good. I wasn't even bringing up. I wasn't bringing up Seattle. I wasn't. I was like, whatever, whatever. And they're still crying. Kevin Knight was like 9 when they left. They didn't even know basketball. Dude was like 5 years old when they left the city. He all right.
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
And you know what? At the end of the day, though, obviously they say that and then immediately get jumped by.
Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Benjamin and Bobby Lashley with MVP and MJF laughing.
And I was laughing hilariously. This is the ass whooping they needed. Okay? They got their ass whooped. Like Oklahoma City beats the non-existent Seattle basketball team. Ha ha! Yeah. But no, this was a cool beatdown. Great beatdown. Yeah.
Come out there basically being like, somebody please stand up to the tag team champions. And basically be like, if Jet Speed can stand after they just what they went through, I'd be more than happy to give them a title shot against the Hurt Syndicate if they can walk, basically.
I'm pretty sure Bobby Lashley ate his meal for lunch was the size of Speedball. I don't think he's worried about that.
Yeah. MJF gets on microphone. He's talking shit, sizing up the Casino Gauntlet, basically, because he wants to get back to being the world champion, get his Triple B back. And then Mark Briscoe comes out being like, I feel like all these hurtful comments and words that come from your mouth are coming from a place of insufficiency. The word of the day is empathy. And you know what? Feels like you're overcompensating for something with all these hurtful words. And if I'm Maxwell Jacob Freeman and I've been going damn near 30 years with a little teeny tiny kosher pickle in my pants, then I would probably want to hang out with these fellas too. Listen. We just going to let Mark Briscoe get away with the fact that he just called out a white man for hanging around with some black people because he's got a tiny penis? We going to let him get away with that?
Because he's Mark.
We're going to let him get away with that.
Because he's Mark Briscoe, yes. Mark Briscoe at this point in time, I think Mark Briscoe could, at this point in time, can pretty much, there's like 10 things he can't say, but other than that, he can pretty much get away with what he wants to right now.
Okay,
he's about as hot and popular as anybody has ever been in AEW.
Okay, then.
Yeah, so, yes, he gets to talk about MJF's tiny pickle, but just know Alicia Toot came to his defense and says it's not tiny. She did not say it was large. She didn't say it was
hear that.
She didn't say it was large. She just said it wasn't tiny. So take that with whatever you want to take it.
See, I didn't even see that, and I could have gone without seeing that. So that's just me. Yeah. But going back to what you were teasing though about how we were talking about this also before we did the podcast, so about Mark Briscoe and the spot he's in right now.
Yes, I asked this question, and I asked it in like our social suplex chat. It's has Mark Briscoe kind of replaced Eddie Kingston as the heart of AEW while Eddie Kingston been out? And the reason I asked that is because, of course, I stay on Twitter and social media most of the time, and it seems like the exact same energy Eddie Kingston was getting, Mark Briscoe's now getting. So I asked Sam, who loves both of these people, I was like, pick one. And he literally wouldn't pick one. He went around the question. He's like, maybe they should be a tag team. I was like, no, pick one, because they kind of feel the same role. There's this Mick Foley role that happened to an Attitude Era. The guy that doesn't necessarily look traditionally like a superstar, but the fans have attached themselves to, where his success becomes their success. And I was just like, yeah, it feels like Mark Briscoe's in that mode right now. And so what did you know what you said to me, but let the world know, what do you think?
Yeah, I was like, basically, in regards to him being like, has Eddie Kingston been replaced by Mark Briscoe with him being injured? I was like, a little, but the thing is that Eddie is just such an enigma of who he is, and just being so singular in terms of characters in AEW, that replacing Eddie Kingston, I feel like, is a near impossibility. Because I just feel like Eddie shows up and just everything feels so much more real when Eddie gets on a microphone, and when he speaks on something, he wants to fight somebody. Like, and you feel like no one told him wrestling was fake. Yeah. And he's just showing up and he just wants to fight. Mark, love him to death. I think he's incredible. I think he's one of the best AEW's got right now. But in terms of replacing Eddie, I don't think anybody can replace Eddie. Okay. Now, in terms of being that lovable kind of, I guess kind of a lovable loser, at least in a little bit of sense, because Eddie would go a little bit of just getting the shit kicked out of him until he finally won at Grand Slam, which was his big moment. But outside of that, though, like, I think Mark is kind of more so, to me, Mark Briscoe feels way more in line of being the new Orange Cassidy.
Okay. But
way more of a serious wrestler, as opposed, because Mark Briscoe's a multi-time tag champion. He's a multi-time champion in his own right. And like he can get serious when it needs to. Mark's just been more so kind of like this lovable, silly guy. And I feel like, if he wants to turn it on, he'll turn it on. Like, that's the thing. We know he... but I feel like Orange Cassidy fits at least a little bit more with what he's been presented as on AEW TV.
Yeah, okay. And I just, like I said, I see the same similar vibes out there. I could even see it, and I had this thought process later after talking to everyone. I could see that you being used as a means to turn Eddie Kingston heel again.
Sure.
Like, he can be like, oh, so you replaced me. You're the heart and soul of AEW now. Like, oh, I get
absolutely.
injured.
Well, and Eddie dude. Yeah. If Eddie turns heel too, you give him a reason. Oh God.
I gave my leg for this, and y'all gonna cheer him now? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I could see Kingston doing something like that, but
sure.
No, it was just like, it's one of those things. Generally, our shows lean towards the straight review, so I just thought I'd ask a question in there to break that up a little bit.
No, yeah, absolutely. We moved into the four-way match for the number one spot in the men's casino gauntlet match at All In. It's Mark Briscoe versus Roderick Strong versus Konosuke Takeshita versus the Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito. And I enjoyed this match. I thought this was a lot of fun. There was a really great moment where Takeshita jumped up top and he knocked off Bandito off the top rope. Briscoe then came in, and then Strong was able to use his strength on Mark Briscoe with an Olympic slam. But by far, though, when Konosuke countered the 21-plex and proceeded to suplex both Briscoe and Roderick at the same time, it was so good.
No,
that shit was so good.
No, when I talk about, Takeshita being my favorite wrestler, dude, just look at this match. Look at what he does. It's like, the dude, you can put him in. He is like one of the ultimate utility people. You can put him in any position, and he can make the match good. This match was a banger. I'm not saying any of these people were like, these all Like, these are I was going to say four of the best workers in AEW, but good Lord, AEW is one of the best working companies ever. So
there's so many guys.
So I can't even say that. But these are.
And it was Bandito who did the 21 plex, not Roderick Strong. I just realized I said.
Yeah, and then Takeshita comes in there, and it's just like, hell yeah, that's Takeshita right there.
Yeah, but as Mark Briscoe basically saw all this opening, he's able to hit the Froggy Bow onto Roderick Strong. He gets the victory. He gets the number one spot in the Casino Gauntlet match, which means, because they announced it next week, MJF is getting the number 2 spot.
Yeah,
That was as choreographed as it could get. I saw that, and I was just like, well, hello. Well, doesn't this seem a little bit intriguing of what's going to be on next week for the number 2 spot?
Dude, how many people would be pissed off is like, we got this whole, announced for the gauntlet match, right? And we get these 2 people at the beginning of the match, and it ends before the third person gets in. I know it won't.
That's the thing, because that's the thing. That's the one thing I have issue with gauntlet matches when it comes to, like, we know a shitload of people are going to be in the match. Yeah. Is that, like, fighting for the 1 and 2 spot, motherfucker? I know you're not putting this match away until everybody who's booked gets in. Unless there's, like, one person who's specifically supposed to be waiting in the back for his name to be called and never comes out, and they use that as a storyline. Everybody who's going to be in the match is going to be in the match.
Dude,
that's why a gauntlet match that's like, like that, to me, it's the only thing that's like, I know too much, and it's why it fucks with my head, basically.
Yeah, and that's why they should save it. And they should announce it for Dynamite 500, and you never make it to the third person, just randomly. And I think once you do that, that would up the stakes on the match.
Right. No, absolutely. We have a backstage segment where Adam Cole issues an open challenge, basically straight for the Don Callis family for Collision, for his TNT Championship, and basically he's like, I'm going to whoop. He's like, not only am I going to defend my title, I'm going to whoop your guys' ass in the process. So basically he says he wants somebody from the Don Callis family to step up for his title. We then have the 4-way match for the number 1 spot in the women's gauntlet match with Willow Nightingale, Athena, Chris Statlander, and Thunder Rosa going at it. And another really good match. I thought this was also really strong. And love that we got Athena back in on AEW. These 3, like, they were jumping all over the place. It felt like just like going like ping pong in between moves. This Willow with her pounce, man. I love it. I love it so much. And we're going to, obviously, with Starrcast, we're going to be meeting my boy Monty Brown. And, like, dude,
unfortunately,
if we can just get, I know.
Unfortunately, I will not be meeting Monty Brown, but we'll talk about that later.
We'll get to that. It's nonsense. But man, I know Monty has said before, like, he's done. Like, that's why I'm stunned he's even at Starrcast, because I've talked to him before, and the fact that he's even showing up at a wrestling convention is crazy to me, because I thought he was just he was out of it. He wasn't doing anything. But now you've done this little thing. You're dipping your toe in, at least with this convention. I'm like, make an appearance where you and Willow pounce 2 people. Like, just once. Like, I need that. I need that in my life. I feel like that would be the fucking coolest shit ever.
Dude, pounce, period. Just whoever he does it, period.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Anybody can get it, and I'll be happy.
Yeah. But really solid match, honestly. I love the fact of how Chris Statlander basically just, capitalizing on the fact of Marina Shafir getting in with Wheeler Yuta. Love Yuta getting the shit kicked out of him basically by Willow. But Chris basically, with the help of the Death Riders, she capitalizes on Willow. She wants to win. That's just she understands they used to be friends. She knows she's not cool with her still, so she's like, fuck it, I'm just going to win. If she's got a problem with it, she's got a problem with it.
If you want Statlander to have a real heel turn, and I thought about this, if you want Statlander to have a real heel turn, She's the one that cost Hangman the title. Yeah, no one will ever forget this about it.
Don't do that. Do not do that. I'm going to say that first. Do not do that. But you're not wrong. But don't do that.
Yeah, no, but it would be amazing. Let's do it.
You just want this so bad. You want it so bad.
Dude, let me tell you. I want it to the extent because honestly, like sometimes the obvious thing is the thing to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the obvious thing is the thing to do. Sometimes it's you kind of go against the obvious thing.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Go against the obvious thing when I'm not at the show.
Sir.
When I'm at the show, I want my guys to win. I want the guys I hate to lose.
I mean, in essence, it's the same.
Okay?
Same.
I'm not going to be out here being like, yo, let's go Outrunners. I'm not going to be like that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I get it. I get it because you don't have any problem with the Outrunners. You don't, do you?
No, I got no problems, but I know you do.
I don't really like Hangman.
He said it. He just came out and said it.
God, like
that's crazy.
Because we're proclivity of positivity, I try to hold this shit back, but when you said it like that, I was like, yeah, I mean, like, I don't like the cowboy.
This man's gonna walk into Texas in a couple weeks, and he just went out and said, "I don't like the cowboy." Folks, if you see our boy Floyd in public, I just say, don't hold it against him.
No, he's a Virginia cowboy. He ain't a Texas cowboy.
I'm aware, but he's a cowboy.
No, you put Dustin Rhodes up there or Stan Hansen?
That's different, yes.
I'm like, hell yeah.
That is different, absolutely. But I'm just saying, though.
That's family right there. But this is Virginia cowboy.
I'm just saying.
It was so funny. Everybody got like super excited when he got announced as the platinum guy.
With Okada and Hangman.
Yeah, and I was like, womp womp. I wanted Ospreay. I was like,
yeah, you were just. I knew you.
Ospreay and Omega. I was like Ospreay, Omega, Okada. It's gonna be two of those, and then they just like Hangman. I was like. You just like I got quiet and I was like, well, they saved me money.
Yep, there you go. Yeah. There you go. But moving off of that four-way though, which was awesome. Like I said, it was very enjoyable. I like that we still got the heat with Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale. I love that that's still this kind of through line that's going on. I do like the continuation of that. And the match was good. FTR basically with Big Stoke talked about how FTR was too heartbroken and disappointed to speak after the intervention by the Outrunners, basically. They were too heartbroken and disappointed to speak. They were egregious for interrupting, saying basically cooler heads prevailed because they wanted to do some good old-fashioned vandalism. But, FTR, God-fearing men, family men, upstanding citizens, they decided not against it. They decided not to do it. So Stoke was like, we're going to extend an olive branch of face-to-face on Collision so we can clear the air, resolve our differences. FTR want to see where things are at, and then we can get on the same page. And then we'll touch on that when we get to Collision. We then go to the final match, the main event, Hangman Adam Page versus the Beast Mortos. I fucking love it when Mortos wrestles. I'm going to say that all the time. But this was honestly just okay. I thought this was just an okay main event for the most part, and it was all building basically to what happened after the match. That was just kind of it. I love Mortos wrestling. I feel like that dude wrestles his ass off all the goddamn time, and it just never really was about the match. So it was just kind of like we were just kind of waiting for what was going to happen afterwards. So, at the end of it all, Hangman goes and gets the win with the buckshot lariat. Lights go out, and they come back on. It's Matt and Nick Jackson going out and hit the EVP trigger on Hangman, basically as they feel as redemption after they got buckshot lariat, well, as Matt got buckshot lariated last week, I should say, on Grand Slam Mexico. And Young Bucks then have the Death Riders come out, basically, as they're looking to jump. Moxley's got a chain around Hangman's neck. The Ops come out to save Hangman. There's a giant brawl. Ospreay comes in to intervene, and it keeps going, basically, up until just everyone's fighting, everyone's brawling, just as they confront Moxley and basically chase him off and all that kind of stuff. And that's the closing moment of the show. Decent enough closer for the most part. Having the Bucks get their quote-unquote revenge on Hangman was at least a good thing, just to continue their heel stuff with Hangman. But yeah, I thought it was just a decent ending to a really good Dynamite for the most part, but just a decent ending. I felt like I wasn't really too, I don't know. It just feel like the match was just kind of there, which sucks because I love when Mortos wrestles, but it just never really felt like it got into that gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. This was Hangman's supposed to win. Hangman's supposed to be the clear, decisive winner. So they didn't really go into the back and forth that we usually get from Mortos matches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, I thought it was a good match.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, I thought it did what it was supposed to do. I think it definitely did what it was supposed to do. But I'm sorry, somebody's typing something to me, so they're so let me close my eyes. But it did what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to get Hangman to win. It was supposed to get him some momentum going into the show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But that was AEW Dynamite. We're going to quickly get into Collision before we wrap this show up. First thing we got to do is we got to get into the opening of the show, which was the Outrunners and FTR hashing it out. And basically how they were flabbergasted at how their camaraderie soured and were disappointed in how everything went bad and how, you know what? We were mentoring you two, taking you to heights that you never came even close to before FTR, and then they threw the heartwarming video package up with all the sad music of them being friends together and FTR Outrunners being everything that they were, and then, everything just went sadly. They just were like, we were preserving ourselves. It seemed to... We were doing all over this stuff. We were going up and up and up, and it just seemed to upset people like you, people like Cope and Daniel Garcia. Dax gets on the mic basically calling Outrunners jealous because you couldn't seize opportunities. You had one opportunity at Immortality to become the World Tag Team Champions, and you embarrassed yourself. So now these fans don't care about you. They see you as a joke, as a meme, and they're not laughing with you. They're laughing at you. And listen, we were fooled by them too, and we realized they don't matter. Like, basically being like, just if you just forget about those people and you just focus on yourselves, you can be like us, but like your ceiling's here and our ceiling's like here. Truth Magnum basically said, you know what? We did come up short against the Syndicate, and he still said, I'll be damned if these people ever stop believing in the Outrunners, and said the biggest mistake is that we believed in you, that you would be our mentors. And they challenged them to a fight. It's like, we don't fight for free, not in Washington. But Collision 300, Ontario, California, FTR versus the Outrunners. Book it. Top guys out. Floyd, we know you were in on the FTR Outrunners before everything fell apart. What was your reaction to this whole ordeal?
I once sent a message directly to Cash, and I said this, and I was joking. It's like joking but not joking. There's only room for one Floyd in their life. Sometimes, art imitates life. So we're getting rid of this Floyd, this false Floyd. This false Floyd.
That wants to add a turbo to the front of his head.
Yes. I don't know everything. Hey, how much stuff do you think you can get done in 8 minutes and 40 seconds? Because that's all it took for the Hurt Syndicate to dispatch the Outrunners.
Oof.
They got their only title shot, and they lasted 8 minutes and 40 seconds. I believe JR went to the bathroom, and he came back, and they were getting pinned. That's how fast this match was over.
Side note, shout out JR. He's cancer-free. Shout out.
Oh, okay. But I was talking about Perez.
Oh, Jim, I was talking about Jim Ross.
I get it. Hey, easily confused when we were talking about wrestling.
Yes, I was just going to say, I literally forgot that was the thing, and I wanted to mention it.
Yes, but shout out to JR.
Getting back to your train of thought.
Yes. But, so, yeah, like, they proved in 8 minutes and 40 seconds that they weren't on the level of championship level. They going against the Hurt Syndicate, and it's like, cool. Hurt Syndicate, great tag team. They're not FTR, but they're a great tag team. So what do they decide to do? They realized, okay, Hurt Syndicate's all pro, and they can't win on all pro, right? And now they decided to step up to all Madden. Sorry. I am sorry for them. To them, FTR had taken them under the wing, and they were going to try to get them to where they were supposed to go to. And FTR has stayed away from the Outrunners. They've only had problems with people that have had problems with them. And then the Outrunners come and get in the business, and there was nothing to be done there. We were tight. We were like brothers. The little video packages, throwing their hands together, doing the muscle fist. Man, it was all good. But shout out to them. I actually got to say thank you, Outrunners. Because I'm going to be in attendance for Collision 100, Dynamite 300 next week. And I wasn't sure if I was going to get an FTR match. And I was not happy about that. But because you put your nose in FTR business, you get the honor of getting a Shatter Machine 1-2-3 on the show where I'm going to debut my FTR shoes. Congratulations to Turbo Floyd. Well, Turbo. I'm not saying the other part of his name. Turbo and Truth Magnum.
Lil Floyd.
Congratulations to him. They get to get beat up by some top guys next week, and they will feel like they will get elevated to that next level one time in their career before they go back to working matches for hot dogs and handshakes. Wolf. So, congratulations to the Outrunners. You get to lose to FTR, the winningest tag team in AEW history.
Ba-boom.
Dude, they weren't even there the first year.
They weren't.
Winningest tag team in AEW history.
Crazy. Nuts. But we moved into the first match of Collision, which was Nick Wayne and Christian Cage versus Brian Keith and Big Bill. And yeah, honestly, they were teasing about the fact how they wanted to be the first father and son champions in AEW, which I love that's a fucking thing. And I enjoyed it. I thought Brian Keith was able to do a lot of good, cool stuff in this. Nick Wayne showing how he's got a lot of room to be cool, like be really solid in this one too. I feel like it just feels like once Nick Wayne is able to break off from Christian Cage, I feel like it's going to be when he really steps out of his shell and he'll be able to do a lot more. I feel like is when he breaks off, because I think it's going to give him more chance to shine. But outside of that though, yeah, it was a solid match. I thought it was pretty cool. That nice little the spear that Christian hit when he was being lifted up by Big Bill, and fucking goddamn Nick Wayne lands on like Big Bill's knees, and it looked like it fucking hurt after he was being held up and he got hit. He got dropped after Big Bill got speared. That shit looked like it hurt. But outside of that, though, it was a pretty solid match. Nice kick to Keith. Brian Keith would get the victory as Nick Wayne pins Brian Keith. And yeah, it was a solid enough match, I felt like.
Match was, in my opinion, somebody might like it more, aggressively fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I get. It was fine. it led to the next match. It led to the winners. Brian Keith and Big Bill don't win a lot, so there you go. But they have won, so I'm not going to say they don't win at all. But they don't win a lot, so you kind of knew who was going to win this match. And so I do like the team of Christian and Nick. So let's go. I'm down.
Yeah, like I said, father and son tag team champions, man. Imagine,
right? Who's your daddy, boy?
So we had a backstage segment then with Josh Alexander and the basically being like, talking about his match with Adam Cole. He was the one stepping up for the Don Callis family to go after the TNT champion, basically being like, tonight is the night I get to free you of the burden of being a fighting champion. I don't know why that line, like, I love that line. Free you of the burden of being a fighting champion. You dumb baby faces who want to defend your title week after week. I don't know why, man. I love that line. I thought that was such a good line from him.
Yes, that was a great line. I'm doing you a favor. taking this from you.
Exactly. He's like, you know what? You're going to be much happier without this. They talked about their familiarity with each other. They said Paragon and Don Callis family, we're no strangers to each other. We're no strangers, me and Adam. He talked about his vulnerability, talked about his ankle injury. The only thing undisputed about you is that I know you have a bad ankle and you're not walking out of here with the TNT championship. And when I'm done, you're not going to be walking out at all. So, really solid promo, I thought, from Josh Alexander leading into this match. It got me excited to watch the match.
Love me some Josh Alexander. Excellent wrestler. So when they said it was him, I got really excited. I thought this was going to be awesome.
Yeah. MVP then comes up backstage as the patriarchy is walking back from their victory, and he gives them a little bit of a clap, and he talked about their ambition to be the first father and son AEW Tag Team Champions. Praised Christian as one of the greatest tag team champions in history, but basically being like, Nick, as talented as you are, you're still just a kid. Which Christian then proceedingly goes and says, I've always lived by the rule, never trust a criminal, and you weren't even a good criminal because at that, you got caught. And he's like, you were actually a better criminal than you are a manager. And I'm just like, damn, Christian, we're going there? Okay. And he basically goes and says, I am the patriarchy. I run AEW. And if I want those AEW tag team championships, they're as good as ours. And MVP was basically like, good luck. You're going to need it. So
it looks like and I don't think this is like, jumping ahead that I'm Nostradamus or anything, but I think we are headed towards a multi-man match for the tag team titles.
Seems like that might be. They're trying to get some more teams in this thing.
And I am happy because the idea of the Hurt Syndicate versus Jet Speed depressed me. So we get like 3 or 4 teams in there, I'm down with.
You're okay with it. You can deal with them being in the match, just not being the only opponents in the match.
I'm just saying, they really... Okay, I don't want to really even say anything negative because AEW's been so good recently. They haven't built up a team that you can... They haven't built up a team with enough of momentum to beat the Hurt Syndicate.
I agree.
And I'm not even like, take FTR out of it. Because you want to know a secret? I am okay if FTR never wins the AEW tag team titles again. I know, wow. I probably blew your mind, right? I'm okay with that. I'm fine. Their legacy is set. To me, the Bucks' legacy is set.
You don't got to worry about the belt, the belt that you have being out of date, too.
Honestly, that was beside the point. I think AEW is in desperate need of building new teams.
Yes.
I am might not be the biggest fan of Jet Speed, but it's new energy into the tag team division. Christian and Nick, new energy in the tag team division. Let's bring the guns back. Let's bring that.
Yes.
We need to focus on building other teams that are not FTR and the Young Bucks in the tag team division. So I am very much okay with the Young Bucks doing their specialty match at AEW. Give FTR a specialty match at All In. And then let these new teams fight it out for the tag team titles. Because this is me thinking not like necessarily what I want, as opposed to what's best for AEW, which is to build your tag team division. Because I don't know how much longer FTR, I think it's 3 more years. And the Young Bucks, they don't seem like they're going to be doing this until their 50s. So it's time to make sure other teams become the legacy teams in AEW.
I agree. I absolutely agree. We then move into a tag match between Brody King and Templario versus Rocky Romero and Hechicero. And honestly, really fun match, just in terms of just the work in there. And it was physical. And again, it just, to me, the stars of this match were Brody King and a good amount of Hechicero too, I thought. It kind of made me want to just see Brody King versus Hechicero, quite honestly. But the match itself, though, was really, really cool. Templario had a tilt-a-whirl arm drag that was sick as hell. But I just feel like Brody, man, the match between those two is just something I would love to see.
Yeah, love me. I mean, Brody King is one of those guys. Again, he could go right in with those 3 that I named earlier. You can always count on him for a solid match. You just, like, he gets in there. He's going to make the match entertaining, whether he's winning or losing. In this case, they won. Fucking love me some Brody King. Templario, he kind of grew on me in this match. And then, again, Rocky's always solid. So solid match. And
it was a pretty damn solid match.
Hechicero is Hechicero. He's awesome. A dude has the look.
Give me that singles match, dude.
Yeah.
Give me that singles match.
Yeah, absolutely. Big meaty men slapping meat.
That's what I'm saying. There was a moment where Mercedes Moné basically had a video package where she talked about her making fun of Tony Storm's presentation and basically saying you parade yourself around AEW, chest up, tits out, your cheap slippers, and your stupid, silly accent. Said, I'm a true star. I'm 6 belts Monet, a global champion, soon to be 7 belts Monet. And talked about basically how you're just a supporting character in Mercedes' grand narrative. If it's a death sentence you want, then this is going to be a beautiful murder that you wrote. And then she has a photo of Tony Storm at the bottom of her boots, basically being like, now I'm going to be walking all over your face at All In. And then proceeds to call out Mina Shirakawa, basically being like, I'll give you a preview for our TBS championship match at Dynamite 300. It'll be my 1,000th match. I'll even buy you a nice steak dinner to see if you can even stomach the preview of the beating that I'm going to give you at All in Texas. And just basically be like, you can get a front row seat to watching me beat up Mina. And she goes, basically, you two are playing checkers. I'm playing chess. We then immediately get Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa's response. And she goes, these are the kinds of games you want to play? I was born on a roulette table. I'll play snooker with your snatch, which is one of the most absolutely batshit things I've ever heard her say. Snooker with your snatch. And then she goes, I'll play tic-tac-toe with your tits.
So I feel like there's either one or two things going on here. Either she's doing the Family Guy thing where she throws a ball at the wall and hits random words and it's like, hey, I'm going to work in a promo. Or there's some kind of gambling pool before the show. They were like, okay, fit this into your promo somehow. $100 you can't get this into your promo and make it work.
She's and then like, what are you doing?
She's like, challenge accepted.
Then if people are doing that.
And then she's like, challenge accepted, because it's so fucking ridiculous that it has to be some kind of game. This has to be some kind of game she's playing, because it's fucking awesome. And the crazy thing is, she says this shit and it's ridiculous, but she says it with such conviction and attitude that it just fucking works.
I know. It's nuts. Whole thing was incredibly entertaining, though. And then Mina Shirakawa basically says, no matter what happens with my TBS title match next week, don't get involved. And she's like, okay, I promise. Just keep her alive, because I want to finish the job, which is a nice little thing. This whole section was honestly one of my favorite parts of Collision. I thought it was great. I thought it was just those three being involved, and then just the work they did, I thought was really, really cool. I liked this little section of Collision. I thought it was very entertaining.
Yeah, very entertaining. I'm looking forward to Mina and Mercedes. It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great next week. We then had Megan Bayne getting a quick match against Vert Vixen. Quick little squash match, basically. And yeah, that was just kind of what it was.
Yeah, it was just, she just won. So
yeah, just squash match there. We then moved into Anthony Bowens basically saying how he's going to be trying to compete for the number 2 spot in the gauntlet at All In. Said, 2 weeks ago, things didn't go my way. I told Billy we need to get our stuff together quick, and said, I told Billy to stay home, rethink that strategy. Next week, you're going to see that strategy come into play, because when I get into this match, I entered this gauntlet at number 2. And basically said, you cannot have the biggest pay-per-view, the biggest show of the year All In without your pride. And he's like, well, you don't believe me? I've got 5 tools and 1 rule, and that's prove them wrong.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean,
cool. Okay.
God, I want Bones' character to work, but no one's taken to it. I just feel like it hurts.
I feel like it's one of those situations, and people don't or not. Some people might not. He's gonna have to go heel. He's gonna have. Gonna have to turn on Billy Gunn and beat him up, because the character. I think even the idea of the 5-tool player, right, the perfect athlete, is a heel gimmick.
Yes.
Who has ever called themselves perfect and really was over? Like, it's the narcissist, Mr. Perfect. Those are heel characters. He's saying, hey, I'm the perfect blend of everything. I am the pride of this company. He's kind of building himself as a heel. Then he shut down Billy Gunn for not helping him. That's a very heel move. So I feel like a heel thing might be what's best going forward. We will see. You know what? It's one of those things. I'm going to try to let him cook. Because I did not like the initial presentation of this at all. But it seems like they are pivoting a little bit, so I'm going to see where they go.
Yeah. We then have the TNT Championship Open Challenge match between Adam Cole and Josh Alexander. Great match. Honestly, really, really great match. I thought they did some good stuff in this. I thought it was weird, honestly. We didn't have Don Callis on commentary. It's a Don Callis family match, but he wasn't there. It's weird. I was like, where the fuck is Don Callis?
Oh, dude, that is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah, Don Callis is just like abandoning his kids. What's going on here?
Messed up, dude. It's messed up. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty damn good match. I liked how Adam Cole's ankle was by far the focus of the whole thing. Just really trying to go after that ankle. And Adam Cole was still able to continue to fight through it, basically. Hitting the Panama Sunrise. Alexander kicks out of it, though. But eventually he hits the boom knee, gets the victory, retains the title. I loved the moment after the match where he goes up towards the kid at ringside and they do the boom pose together. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Great moment for the kid. Greatly timed. And
it just shows that, again, Adam Cole, he's nowhere near, I feel like, where he was a couple of years ago in terms of just the hype around him. But at the same time, he's still one of the best AEW has.
Well, I'll say this. This was an Adam Cole match. I felt like this is the first Adam Cole match he's had in a while. Maybe like where it just felt like this epic thing. I think it might have lasted 15 minutes, but it was just like they're hitting the big moves. And just this energy got the crowd into it. Because, Adam Cole works. Adam Cole works. He has worked at every company he has. But I think it's taken a while for him to get comfortable on his ankle, get his legs under him, get his work to match. He got Josh Alexander, an amazing wrestler. They had good chemistry. It felt like an Adam Cole match. And it hadn't in a long time to me.
Yeah, I think you're right on the money with that, honestly. Mm-hmm. We had a statement from Alex Windsor, basically reintroducing herself to the AEW audience, basically being like, when you talk about the best women's wrestlers in the UK, the only name that should spring to mind is Alex Windsor. And when I said that I could hang with the best and I belong with the best wrestle, I didn't just come to talk about it. I'm here to prove it. And said she was basically setting her message clear so everyone's going to know the name Alex Windsor. So honestly, pretty cool promo. I thought it was cool that they gonna put more of a shine on her too. I thought that was a nice little thing.
Yeah.
And we then went into Queen Aminata versus Sky Blue. As they set the stage basically for the Casino Gauntlet match with everyone being in this in the match as well. And this is all right, honestly. I like how they're really trying to get Queen Aminata some more time. I think they're giving her a lot of chances to do some stuff. And having her go against Julie and Sky Blue, I think, is a cool thing too.
She had to go against her wife. I know.
Yeah,
that's messed up.
It's just wrong. But basically, Julia Hart distracts Queen Aminata, and then Tekla shows up, distracts, makes an appearance. Sky Blue ambushes Queen Aminata, and then they come in and they start beating him down after Aminata. It was Aminata got the win, but that was when Tekla came in to help them jump her. And then Ty J came in to make the save. They had a weapon in hand. And then everyone's basically facing off, and they are like going to be in or most of them are probably going to be in the Casino Gauntlet match, basically. So just continuing to have some work in this gauntlet match of who could be in it, who could win it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was decent, I thought.
I have been screaming for an all-women faction for a long time. I feel like that was the Sky Blue, Julia, and Tekla is gonna be one, and that's good because I like, again, factions in wrestling, especially when you have a company right now that the women get limited time. That's a way to get them all on the screen more in the limited time that you give them. So I am very if we can get some lady factions, it gets more screen time for the teams. You know, you got Marina in the Death Riders. She's on TV every week. I think she's probably the most consistent woman in the company other than Mercedes or Tony. So, and it's just you don't think about it that way, but she's on TV. Marina's on TV every week. So if you get these women factions together with Tekla, Sky Blue, and everything, if one of them was on the show, all three of them's on the show. And that's just getting them out there and letting the fans attach to them, especially for someone like Tekla, who her career has basically been built in Japan. And I didn't even hear a lot about her other than listening to One Nation Radio. I didn't hear a lot about Tekla. So building up her fan base, building her up as a threat in a group with two people that people are more familiar with, definitely will work. When they all came out and they're three, and I don't think both of them are going to be factions. I just think the Tekla, Sky Blue, Julia is going to be a faction. And I was just like, okay, let's go. And now come up with a cool name. Now this Jet Speed has set the bar, right?
Yeah.
So you can't come with a shitty name with these women, okay? Whenever you decide to name them, you can't come with a shitty name. Jet Speed has shown that you have the ability to come up with awesome names. Death Riders. So come with a name. Workshop it. Send it out to your hardcore people. Give us a good name. I'm thinking something with spiders, but, we'll see.
Yeah. But we then move into the main event. They called it the Battle of the Kyles.
Yes, I feel like the loser should have had to change their first name.
To what though?
Huh?
What should their first name then be?
I don't know. They just go by their last name. So you're not.
So you get the WWE treatment. You lose your first name.
You're just O'Reilly now, because
or you're just Fletcher.
Yes, because this is a Highlander. There can only be one. There can be only one. There can be only one. That's how you say it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen. Match itself was really great. Obviously,
Fucking
two great
banger.
wrestlers. But dude, the Kyle chants took over the match. There were so many. There were
Kyle is awesome.
so many.
Kyle is awesome.
This is Kyle forever.
Yes.
Where they're like trading shots and it's, oh, Kyle. Oh, Kyle. What was the other one? Oh, his name is Kyle or something, I think was one. Like, bro.
Kyle on Kyle violence, you know?
Yeah. It's crazy. Like that it just ended the show. And considering the fact too that this was taped after Dynamite and this was the last match of the tape stuff.
And the crowd was still hot.
The crowd was still going, dude. And like with all the chants and they were just feeding into it and both guys were loving it, man. It just seemed like it would have been a fun match to be a part of in terms of just the crowd and just being there for it.
You only can do these double tapings on the West Coast, man, because
I feel like it.
The shows start at 5.
Yes,
so
I agree.
It's only 9 when you're shooting the second show, so people still have energy as opposed to when you're on the East Coast and it's 11 or 12.
Yeah, we're
dead. We're dead. Because it's been a long fucking day. Yeah.
Yeah. But
it sounds like you've had a long fucking day.
I have.
Yeah.
But no, dude, I loved how physical this match was. And again, too, the way the chants carried the whole thing, but the crowd wasn't just overly like into the chants. They were still getting into the match and the moves and everything too. It just showed how much people are into these guys. Brainbuster hit for the pinfall victory for Kyle Fletcher. That's when Adam Cole, Lance Archer and Kyle Fletcher then come out to beat up O'Reilly some more. Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Daniel Garcia come and make the save. Fletcher screaming basically how that title belongs to me. Dude, if we get Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher, they could fucking steal the show, genuinely. Like, genuinely. I feel like that is a sleeper match that could fucking fly off the handles for All In if that happens.
I gotta tell you, at All In, like stealing the show, like with the matches that have been announced, that's a tall order. You're like, yeah, you're.
It's possible though. It's possible.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. What you're saying is a very fucking strong statement because, you know, you're gonna have Kenny Omega and Okada on a show. I don't think anybody's stealing from them, but we'll see. We'll see. This is gonna be amazing. So, yeah, I am. Yeah, Kyle Fletcher, and it looks like Adam Cole almost back to his Adam Cole, 100% Adam Cole form.
You can feel it, dude. You can feel it.
Yeah, it's gonna bang. Yeah, that'll be an amazing match. Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. That was Collision, though, so we are going to quickly just touch on what we're going to have moving on next week with AEW, with AEW Dynamite 300 and AEW Collision 100. So what we have for those matches is we're going to have Kota Ibushi versus Kazuchika Okada. We're going to have Mercedes Moné versus Mina Shirakawa for the TBS Championship. Brody King, MJF, Anthony Bowens, and AR Fox fighting for the number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match. And then on Collision 100, FTR versus the Outrunners. And then was there any other matches that were announced yet?
I believe that's it.
For right now, at least. And we're recording this, like I said, after Collision went off the air.
I'm 99% sure they're going to announce a Fatal 4-Way Women's match, too. But, yeah, as of right now, yeah, because that Fatal 4-Way match it literally got announced, like, shortly after the show. So,
yeah.
But it's loaded. Like I said, Dynamite 1.5 at least. Collision, which is amazing because the Collision, the Colliders, the OG Colliders, the main event of the first show, FTR is going to now main event the 100th show. That is great. I have one special request for anybody that listens to the show that may have the ear of Tony Khan. I think we need our Collision Cowboys back for this episode.
Yeah.
We need the Gun Club. We need the Gun Club. I know Jay White, Juice, but we need the Guns, the OG Collision Cowboys. We need them on the 100th show.
I mean, I'd be down with it. I can't see a reason why they wouldn't want to be on it.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, that's basically it. So that is what we got coming up next week. We got a couple other quick things we want to touch on before we close out the show. So
okay, ROH. Tonight it was ROH Global Wars, and they basically set up ROH Supercard of Honor. Just for your information, right now they are not selling single tickets to ROH Supercard of Honor. The only way you can go to Supercard of Honor is if you buy one of the VIP passes to All In, and with that included is a ROH Supercard of Honor ticket. But the matches they announced Athena versus the Forever Champion Athena versus Thunder Rosa. They announced the Sons of Texas versus the winners of a match between the Infantry and Top Flight. We then have Lee Moriarty versus Blue Panther, and I think that's for the ROH Pure title. And in your ROH World Championship match, they literally just built a match just for me. They gave me Bandito and they gave me Takeshita.
They did.
And I know we're not doing predictions until a couple weeks from now. I'm going Takeshita's winning that sumbitch because it has been announced that July 17th to August 18th or something like that, Takeshita's going to be in the G1. And I think, you know what would look good on him carrying to the ring doing the G1? The ROH World title. Sexy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, give it to him. All right, those are the 4 matches announced so far. They've announced some new stage shows for, I put it for All In. For Starrcast, Swerve is going to be doing, the Swerve show is going to be doing like a live podcast, I don't know or show, and they're going to have some special guests there. Jazzwares is going to reveal their newest AEW figure. Let's see, the Swerve City podcast. Yes, it is Swerve City podcast. And they announced the comedy show, but that's in Chicago later. We'll talk about that one at another time. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all they announced for it. So they did do a platinum guest. So what they did was they did not announce these guys in advance. They only released them to the platinum. It was Hangman and Okada. I believe I know a person that's meeting both of those people, I think. Yeah. So Austin's meeting both of those people, but then they announced a slew of people. They have a pro photo op with the whole patriarchy. Pro photo op with Anna Jay and Ty Soteje. Daniel Garcia, the Rhodes brothers. So they are the sons of, not Teal, I think they have another older sister. They're twin sons or whatever. They are there. They announced Takeshita. I bought that one. Nigel McGuinness. I think he's going to be doing some kind of magic too. Everybody wants Serpentico. Everybody wants Snake Man. But yeah, so and Yuka Sakazaki is gonna be there, and RVT got announced today. He just got announced like a few hours ago. So make sure if you're attending Starrcast, you get those meet and greets or whatever. Again, if you have any questions about Starrcast, at Floyd Johnson Jr. or at AT Elite Pod on Twitter. You can send me any of your DMs. I will answer any of your questions about it. Of course, you can DM, you can go to the official Starrcast at Starrcast Twitter to find out that information. You can go at Starrcast Twitter to find out whatever information. The last thing I wanted to go over, just because it was such a bombshell to me, right? So they announced the information for if you have VIP to All In. I don't know how many people on the show that listen to the show have it. Shout out J-Ro. They announced the times. You can pick up your VIP tickets and your RH ticket pickup Thursday, July 10th at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and Friday, July 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And this is at the Sheraton Hotel Arlington lobby. Look for the AEW VIP ROH ticket pickup. You get all your shit. But this is the most important part. This is the only reason I brought this up. So if you are VIP for All In, expect a long fucking day. Because check-in time, early merch setup is 8:30 a.m. on All In Day. You get your reception with the belt photo opportunity at 9 a.m. Talent Q&A at 10 a.m. And then you get your ringside photo at 11 a.m. with, I think that's when, because the show starts at 2, so I imagine the big show starts at 2. They'll probably do a pre-show or whatever. So that'll probably be when the doors open. So
0 hour, yeah.
Yeah, so your day is going to start whatever time you get up, but roughly 8:30, and you're probably going to be in a Globe Life Field from about 8:30 a.m. to 6 or 7 p.m.
Right.
So I just wanted to prepare you, because if you got the VIP, you probably can't do anything at unless you're coming late and don't care about the extra stuff. You probably won't be able to do anything at Starrcast because it literally goes right along the Starrcast tickets. So I will say this.
It seems like a really big oversight.
I will say this as a fan, Starrcast and AEW have to coordinate better. Because if you're going AEW VIP, you're probably going to be Starrcast Platinum too. I think that Venn diagram is not very small. You know what I mean? If you're doing one, you're probably doing the other. So, yeah, I think y'all need to work together better on that situation.
I agree.
Yeah, especially with the early start time. They did say on Starrcast that they're going to be opening. Starrcast is going to open back up after the show. So maybe some re-debuting people will be doing meet and greets, Darby Allin. Maybe some re-debuting people will be doing meet and greets and shit there. So make sure you watch out for all those times and stuff. Like I said, it was shockingly early for me. I wouldn't even brought it up on the show, but it was so shockingly early. Like I had planned to do a big group photo with Social Suplex, Austin, Sydney, and get us all for a big group photo. But as of now, I'm supposed to check in at 8:30, so I'm not going to see anybody until y'all get in for the show. So,
right, we might have to do it outside the arena after the show.
Yeah, so that really did put like a kink in my plans there. So I imagine if anybody else is a planner like me, it might have put a kink in your plans too. So thought I'd bring it up on the show. FTR versus Briscoe's trilogy is being streamed on ROH YouTube on Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So they're going to stream all 3 matches. Probably, I mean, if they have like commentary and all that stuff, it could probably last a few hours. Make sure you check that out. I am definitely going to be watching. It's my favorite, trilogy of tag teams ever. But, it's crazy. Like I said, it's crazy specific how important it is. Because there was only 3 matches. There's only ever going to be 3 matches between those 4. And, so that legacy is going to live forever because they can't be like, oh, let's try to get another payday. Let's try to get another big show out of it. You can't do anything like that, unfortunately. Right. So it's like these are the only 3 matches these 4 people are ever going to have. So make sure you watch that if you're, interested in that. I will definitely be watching it. And then Jazzware Vault. They do their ROH series. They released FTR tag team. It's limited 3,000. And they released that on Wednesday at 9 a.m. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and pick up. Shockingly, I already got mine. Yeah. So they look cool. It's the exact gear they were wearing at the dog collar match. So that
wild.
So when you watch the YouTube and you watch that, you'll see that gear is there. And then last but not least, I always like to give a ticket count. Tickets distributed for All In is at 18,600 today. And so with walk up, and I imagine you add that Mystico MJF match, I think we're going to get well over 20,000 for the show.
I mean, yeah, it seems like that's going to be the case. It feels like
because Texas,
the numbers that we got,
yeah, Texas is. This has been repeated across many podcasts. Texas is a strong walk-up state, so that's what's going to happen.
It is,
yeah. So make sure if you can make it, you should go, and it's going to be a good time.
Hell yeah. That I think is going to do it though for this episode of All Things Elite, guys. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate you guys tuning in every week. If you enjoy the show, continue to download this show on YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you choose to get us though. We appreciate if you give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. Rate, review, subscribe so you don't miss an episode and turn automatic downloads on. Follow us on Twitter at ATElitePod. At Social Suplex are the guys that make this show possible. Check out all the other shows they have on their network. I am at Austin Sumowicz, SZUMOWICZ. Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. Go to Chop Tees and get a t-shirt. Sign up for the Social Suplex newsletter. Links are in the description. And I will pass it off to my buddy Floyd so he can take us home on this episode of All Things Elite.
Well, so we won't be doing another show until after Monday. So I want to send a happy birthday to 3 wrestling legends on the birthday. First, Cody Rhodes, happy birthday. Second, a happy birthday in heaven to Mr. Terry Funk. And then last but not least, happy birthday to one half of the greatest tag team of all time. Your favorite tag team's favorite tag team. Happy birthday to Mr. Dax Harwood. He, I think this is either 39 or 40. It's like, I think it's 40. Okay, he turns 41. 41. So happy 41st birthday to Dax Harwood. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them soon. So he'll be wrestling a couple days after his birthday. So happy birthday, Dax. I will leave you. That's all I had to say. Oh, it's going to be Cody's actually 40th birthday. That's pretty cool. I want to say thank you all for listening. Whether you download, you actually listen to the show, whatever you do, I appreciate it. Second, minute, hour, however long you listen, we appreciate it. And with that, I will leave you how I always leave you. Whether it is home, work, or school, always do your best to be elite.
When your company earns unlimited 2% cash back on all purchases with Capital One, that's serious business. So Steven at SandCloud got a serious business card, the Spark Cash Plus card from Capital One.
We used our 2% cash back to help build our retail presence.
Savvy, Steven.
And we get big purchasing power, so our business can spend more and earn more.
The Spark Cash Plus card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/SparkCashPlus.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.